Hi everybody, it's Chris, your green hair gospel slinger. It's Friday, March 18th. Trying something new today. I'm doing controversies in the Bible, but I'm also doing prophecy. Now, this is something completely new for me, and please bear with me. I did my very best at studying this. But we're going to try something, and I hope that you're willing to stay along with me for the ride. We're going to do a topic that I felt was really interesting, and I hope you find it as well. It's on Babylon the Great, commonly known as the Whore of Babylon. So let's get ready, because I got a lot to feed you. Revelation 17:5. Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and abominations of the earth. Wow. Comes straight out swinging. You know, I want to give you the first word of this. Whore. Now, some people might find this topic offensive, and I don't mean to be offensive. I'm just trying to be as clear and concise as I can be. But the word whore in Greek has two definitions, because there's one for male and one for female. The one for female is porne, P-O-R-N-E. The one for male is P-O-R-N-O-S, pornos, which we get the word pornography, or as most people call it, porno, which the definition is to sell. So, right off we're getting the idea that the whore is to be sold in Babylon, of Babylon. So she's the one to be sold in Babylon. I guess that's the best way you can put it. She's supposed to be sold. So, there's two frames of thought in this. There's either the one world religion or the thought of America being the whore of Babylon. Or is it the one world religion? Either way, I got a little bit of meat on both sides of the table for you. So I'm going to try to see what I can give you. And I'm going to let you make your own decision. It's not my purpose to make your decisions for you. I'm just trying to give you some information as best I can. So, Revelations was written by John the Apostle on the Isle of Patmos. Now, he was the last apostle that was alive. And I don't know if he was given, except he was the one that he was allowed foresight into what was to come with Revelations. Now realize this, he was speaking his tongue. And what I mean by his tongue, I mean he was speaking the words of his day. He didn't know things that we know today. So it wasn't like he could say he saw an airplane, because he didn't know. So he would say a flying bird that holds people, or something to that effect. And we might be able to say, oh, that would be a plane. It could be. It could be a lot of things. But he had to use his tongue of the day, not ours. So some of this is going to be a little hard for me to translate for you, because it wasn't his tongue. So, as we go through this, I'm going to start off with the one world religion. The one world religion aspect. The one world religion aspect is this. They say, and this is what it says in Revelations, is that there are 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, the 7 heads, there are 5 that have passed, one that is present and one to come. The one that comes will rule with the 10 horns. And all of these mean kings. So there's 7 kings, and 10 kings. But the 10 kings aren't going to rule until the 7th king comes around. But they're only going to rule for a brief period of time, because the beast is not going to share that timeline with them. He's not going to share it with them. He's going to take what he wants. And you'll see this as a repetitive thing in the Bible. Whether you look at it as one world religion, or if you look at it as America, no matter how you look at it, you're going to see this repetitive statement. Now, let me give you a little background on Babylon. Babylon is actually located in Baghdad, 50 miles south of Baghdad, to be exact, off the Euphrates River. And just before Desert Storm, before the war we had with Iraq, or the war the 3-day war basically in Iraq, Saddam Hussein was digging up Babylon. He was trying to reveal Babylon because he wanted to be Christian, or he wanted to be reincarnated as Nebuchadnezzar. Now, Nebuchadnezzar is a whole nother story, but I'm going to fill you in with a little backstory on him. No backstory is this. Nebuchadnezzar had a dream of a statue. Now, Nebuchadnezzar had built himself a big golden statue for his people to admire him. But he had a dream of this statue made of 4 metals. And Daniel the prophet, he translated this dream for him. And it was about 4 kingdoms, or four times that the world would have it would be sort of like the Romans, the Greeks. They actually were the Romans, the Greeks. I'm blanking out on some of it, but the statue was made of gold, silver, bronze, and the feet are made of iron and clay. Now, iron and clay. Now, when you think about it, iron and clay, this is another little rabbit hole I'm going to take you off on. Iron and clay, when you mix those two, they can't stand together. And they say that we're at a point in our history that we're able to start mixing bio and mechanical. Maybe it matches for this generation, the last generation. Not saying it is, but it's prophecy. Anything can be. So, go on with the rest of it. The 7 horns. Now, if you're going with the religious part, or religion part, there are 7 main religions. And those religions happen to be Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism, Judaism, Sikhism, Orthodox. That's your 7. So could they be the 7 horns? That's a fairly good call. You could probably go there. You say, yeah, that could be 7. That could be. But then where did the 10 come in? Didn't know. But then I found something very interesting. There were 7 branches to Christianity. This was a mind blower for me. I kept on digging, and I found something new, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. But it led to more questions. So you'll understand, I don't have all the answers. I only have more questions. So I'm trying to get you to start thinking. So the branches of Christianity, which we hold 2.6 billion billion people are self-proclaimed Christians. 1.2 billion of those are Catholic or Catholicism. Protestant. Then there's Protestant. Then there's Orthodox, Baptist, Lutheran, Presbyterian, and Methodist. That's 7 as well. Could that be the 7 that they're talking about? Don't know. Just throwing another tidbit out there for you. Could possibly be. Well, as I kept on digging and digging and digging and digging, I had a question here about the 10 horns. So I went back to the Bible. That's the best place to go. If you want your information, go to the source. So chapter 17, verse 16 states, the scarlet beast and his 10 horns. Now realize that. The scarlet beast and his 10 horns all hate the prostitute. They will strip her naked, eat her flesh, and burn her remains with fire. His. Okay, now, that led me to another question. If they're saying his, and it's a dominant, remember, we just went through the word for whore, so that would be a pornos, meaning male. A pornos is the whore. So a male's going to burn a whore. A male's going to burn a male. If I'm reading it right. Or a male's going to burn a female. Can't tell. But we know it's going to be a male that's going to do the destroying. And remember, like I said, there are seven heads. And the 7th one hasn't come back to rule yet. He hasn't ruled yet. And he's going to rule with the 10 horns. So if he's going to rule with the 10 horns, that means the last head of whether it be religion or Christianity has to be a male. Now, who's a male that leads a city? Okay, now let me get to that. I want you to catch on this one because this was something that caught me too. And first off, the word city in Greek is polis, P-O-L-I-S. Now, follow me here. Chapter 17, verse 18. And this woman you saw in your vision represents the great city that rules over the kings of the world. Okay? So now we got a woman that's ruling over the kings of the world. Where's there a woman ruling over the kings of the world? We don't know yet, because I don't know where there's a woman ruling over the kings of the world. Don't know. Future prophetic thoughts. But we know where there's a male, because city also means a city-state ran of its own government outside of a government. Where is that? I'll tell you, because you don't know. The Vatican. Vatican City is a city amongst itself with its own judicial and rule system. And it's ran by a pope who is male. So now this leads you to both. You could say it could be Christianity or it could be Catholicism. Either way it could be. This is really mind-blowing stuff. And then I came across this. After city, the Akkadian word Babalu, Babilu, the meaning is gate of God. I was like, what's that mean? Why would that get thrown in there? Well, if you go to the Greek, it's Bav hyphen il or Bav hyphen ilin, because there's also gates of gods. Gate of God or gates of gods. So we're going to stick with Babalu, and we're going to go with gates of God. I don't know why, but that's just where I'm going with that. So if that's the case, the gate of God, which is part of the city, what is the gate of God? Would not the Vatican be considered a gate of God? Possibly. These are only my hypothesis. These are not fact. Nothing that I'm saying right now is fact. This is just a hypothesis I'm making. There's some things that the devil does. The way he attacks a culture. He attacks a culture when it's neutral, when it's not neutral. He's looking for it to be swaying. So, would you say that the Catholic, or would you say that religion is swaying? Possibly. The devil attacks through government persecution. Another good thought. Government persecution. Where's that happening? Everywhere. The devil attacks also through seductive, idolatrous culture. Let me show you something. How many of you worship this? Or do you worship this? Because that's how you get through life. That's how you get through. That's an idol. That's an idol. It's what the devil uses. He's been using it since the beginning. No enemy of God's people will finally stand. The Lord's day is coming. See, no matter how this works out, whether it is about America or whether it is about one world religion, it's simple enough. You have to pick a side. You have to pick a side. Other cultures didn't pick sides. And they failed. Our culture is failing. That I can say with truth and honesty. Because you know something I found out that was really interesting? In chapter 18, verse 13 of Revelations, it actually speaks in preference to, not directly, but in preference to human trafficking. That's happening worldwide. There were so many questions I came up with this. So many questions. Every time I turned around, I got another question. The controversies are unreal in this. No matter what you think. If it is about America, then we have the opportunity to change it. When was the last time that you got on your knees and you prayed? Or when was the last time you sold yourself out? We can't keep on doing this over and over and over and over. Because when you get down to it, guess what? They collide. They collide. Because America is closing its eyes to everything. To everything. Yeah, we love a one world religion. That would just make it easier for us. Differences are what make us better. But loving Jesus Christ and loving God will make us great. That will make us great. Now, I know this is all over the place, and it is. It is all over the place. But you know what? Revelations is true. This book is true. Every word that's written in this book is true. You have to dig. You have to dig. And what you might hear today, you might say, well, dude, you're just all over the place. Yeah, I am. Because guess what? There's so much to learn. And right now, not a lot of time to learn it all. I love all of you. I don't want us to be the whore where we sold ourselves. Where we sell ourselves short. Because whether it's America or religion, either way, we sold ourselves short. Don't you understand that? Either way, we sold ourselves short. We sold ourselves short. I heard something today that made a lot of sense. Does it matter if it's the ocean or a puddle? It's still water. Does it matter? Does it really matter? Yeah, it does. It matters that you get off your butt and dig into this book. If there's no other book you read, read the Bible. There's no other book if you have a hard time understanding a book, everybody does. The Bible's all over the place itself. But it's truth. I'm sorry that I was all over the place today, but this was all over the place. And this is about the 9th time that I've tried to do this video today, and every time I just got mixed up. I'm just being honest with you. So, like I say every time, and I'll say it every day of my life, share your testimony. Share it. You don't understand what kind of change you're going to make in somebody's life. Some people feel like, oh, my testimony doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Mine's not as impactful as yours. Yes, it is. Every testimony is just as important as the others. Because when you're sharing your testimony, you're sharing God's testimony. You're sharing what He did in your life. And as always, may your temptations be few and your blessings be many more. I say this all in the name of my Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.